All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ Podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy. Welcome to episode 273 of the KissFAQ Podcast. I'm your host, Julian Gill, admin on the KissFAQ message board. Today, I'm joined by Alex, Bagboy, and 69th Blizzard Ken. And my phone's ringing. Lonnie, St. Louis Kiss.
Hello again, everybody.
You can go to voicemail. Sorry, Tom. Before we get to today's topic, there's actually some news this week. First and foremost is our brother, Mark, and has reached 400 episodes with his buddy Kevin. Let me say it again, Kevin. Sorry. Kind of screwed that one up completely on their Yes Songs podcast. So congratulations to you guys. It's a milestone. I didn't know. Does it mean that Yes has 400 songs? That's kind of scary. I'm not digging into their catalog next to find out. Other news is the Hot in the Shade and Hotter Than Hell colored vinyl bundles are going to be coming out, and I think they're shipping towards the end of the month. But obviously, Hot in the Shade is blue vinyl. Hotter Than Hell is translucent orange. The LP and T-shirts are bundled at $48 currently, discounted off $60, and then they've got platinum packs of both of these. The Hits Platinum comes with a cap and a key ring, which I have no use for, and the Hotter Than Hell one actually is very cool. Comes with the sweatshirt, which if you've seen that is really good looking. A mug and a lighter. Yeah. Who smokes?
And if you just want the vinyl, Sound of Vinyl has the two of them together for $50.
Yeah,
which is a good deal too.
That's a really good deal. So nice to see more colored vinyl coming out. Don't forget, of course, Destroyer Resurrected on Walmart is also coming out. I've just had to stop. I can't keep up with all of this. I don't have anywhere to put them. I may have to do that Hot in the Shade blue one though. That looks really cool.
I've already done. I pre-ordered them both yesterday.
Yeah. I gotta sell some. I think I gotta sell some stuff on eBay. So, what other news? There is another Kiss date. Argentina now announced in May. So more and more dates are getting added to the itinerary. Gene, of course, made TMZ with his kidney stone issues. So thoughts and prayers to the demon because those things freaking hurt. Oh my God, they hurt. So
my wife says so kidney stones will stop the demon. She says,
well, I saw one comment.
I could stop most people.
One comment online was a guy told his wife that, and she said, "Well, I've had kidney stones and I've given birth to children, and I'd much rather give birth than have kidney stones." So, taking that from the ladies, I think probably no. I know which. Well, I don't know which I prefer, but I know it's a horrible, horrible thing anyway. Hopefully Ken's going to come back, and if not, we're going to get started anyway. So this week we're celebrating, we're actually nearly bang on the date of its release, the 10th anniversary of Sonic Boom, or Boom.
I grabbed my vinyl, damn it.
I had the vinyl out, but I was just like, if I have it out, I'm going to drop it. First thing I did yesterday when this arrived in the post was drop it on the floor.
Can I just say my dumb moment of life just right then and there? I don't really regret it because I gave it to a friend, but I actually bought the vinyl and actually gave it away to a buddy. I was like, oh, I think you like it. And of course now, it's skyrocketed in price. But
that was savvy.
I just didn't have a record player and stuff where I was moving out west and I didn't want to take some stuff with me. And he's actually amassed a huge Kiss vinyl record collection. So, it's a cool piece in his collection. He appreciates it. So I know where it's at. I'm just like, man, I should have held on to that.
Yeah, that really wasn't the greatest choice that you could have made. I got rid of mine as well and always regretted it. Ended up having to go back to, where was it, Kiss Army Warehouse, and buy another copy. I got a purple copy and it arrived with a split seam. I was furious. And, I sold that on as it was, kept the cover, and managed to get, I think, just the record from Kiss Online. So put my own together and was happy in the end. So I don't know what they sell for these days, as this will eventually be showing up on eBay as I continue to prune off my collection. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the album. Got 2 copies of the European version to give away this week. So you can just email me at the website. You can find me. These, of course, come in jewel cases. They're single CDs. For those of us that hate digipacks, these are the way to go. And I hate digipacks with a passion, so I was happy at least that it came out in Europe on that format. So you're going to, let's see, how are we going to give these away? Well, it's going to be a random picking, but you got to answer 2 questions. And it's going to be, what is my least favorite song and Ken's least favorite song? So you got to pay attention to the episode and just throw those in an email to me, and I'll do the drawing next Wednesday, which will be Wednesday the 10th or 9th. Yeah, Wednesday the 9th at noon. And free copies is open to anyone worldwide. So someone in England better not win, as they just come from England. That'd be very annoying. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your first impressions of Sonic Boom. For myself, I was thrilled when they announced they were going to be doing another studio album, because I did not want Psycho Circus to be the band's studio album bookend with everything that came after that. So I was very excited about it. Alex, let's start with you, finding out that it was going to be coming out and your general thoughts of what you were hoping for.
I was excited. I think all of us were members of that message board at the time in 2009. And there just was this excitement. I think it was April or May, was that Columbia book. Not Columbia. But there was a show that was, they ended up using it as one of the bonus discs in the Sonic Boom from Argentina, from Buenos Aires. There was a show there that debuted, and down there, like, Paul had a vest, and so all the conversation on the message board for a little bit was like, Paul Stanley has a new vest on and stuff, and everybody was kind of all excited and stuff. And then
a lot of bantiness and a lot of pissed offness about it, though, too.
Well, a lot of the haters were calling it a bra.
You wanted the vest, you got the vest.
But and I think if I recall, they were just coming out with Kiss trading cards about the same time. And so I remember there was like, and I guess somebody saw like a trademark for Kiss 360. So there was this talk of like, is the new album going to be called 360 or whatnot? And so there was just a lot of like fun excitement. And for myself, kind of like you, Psycho Circus at that point was the last album. And even though I loved Kiss as a kid, I was 9 when that album came out. So I wasn't like following the band to know I need to go to the FYE to pick up the Psycho Circus tape cassette because it came out that day. So for myself, I was excited that I was going to get a brand new Kiss studio album.
Cool. Yeah. Because you are the youngest, how old were you in 2009 when this came out?
I was just turned 20.
Okay, so you're still a youngster. All right. Yeah. Lonnie, what about you? What were your thoughts when you heard that Sonic Boom was coming out? Were you a member on the message board? I keep forgetting that.
Absolutely.
The board has been around a really long time.
Absolutely, I was a member on the message board back then. I was thrilled. I was absolutely, stunned at the idea, because I had come to this my own assumption that they're just going to continue to tour the way they've been touring, and they're probably not going to release any new music with this lineup. I don't know how long this lineup is going to last. At 2009, by 2009, it had been 5 years since they had toured the States, a proper tour of the States anyway. So it from like 2004 to 2009, you have to remember, was kind of like a weird time for Kiss, because they did like this tour of Japan in 2006. They did like the Hit and Run tour, like 5 dates in the US in 2007. And then in early 2008, they went to Australia. And then summer 2008, they went to Europe on the Alive 35 tour. And they were just on this Alive 35 tour. All they're doing is really just celebrating the past, playing Alive from start to finish. And it really made me come to that assumption that, they're just going to continue to be a band who just relies on their past and tours on their past. And Maybe we'll be lucky enough to get some U.S. dates sprinkled in here and there. And that's just going to be the way it is. And the band may just fade away because there wasn't a whole lot going on. But, I mean, because at that point, like when they played like the Hit and Run tour in 2007, like I went to Sault Ste. Marie in 2007. And in spring of 2009, they announced they were going to do those Canadian dates in the summer of 2009. And I bought tickets to I drove to Canada to see him. And as crazy as that sounds, driving from St. Louis to go to Canada, the reason why I did that was because of what I just mentioned. I didn't think there was much more of a chance to see the band. I really had given up on the idea that I'm doing a full tour of the States. So when they said they were going to release a new album and do an arena tour, I was excited. I mean, damn excited. And we'll get to it later, but, I loved the album when it came out. So I was beside myself when I heard they were going to make a new album.
Ken, how about you with when you heard that it was going to be coming out? And I guess since everyone else has mentioned, were you on the board back then as well?
Was I on the board? I think I was on the board. 10 years
ago.
Around there, or I was on the board, but I wasn't registered, I
You're
think.
a lurker.
Oh,
I was
you're one of those.
Lurking. I think I registered somewhere around that time, though. It was somewhere around there. But anyway, I'd have to look. But yeah, I didn't think they were going to put out another album. The way things were going, I thought it was going to, they were just kind of, fade away and call it quits at some point. So, yeah, but I was excited to hear it. I mean, I was excited to hear that they were putting new music out, and I thought, oh, this is great. And then when they said it was going to be, a throwback to 70s kind of style, music or their style, and I thought, oh, this could be interesting. So I was looking forward to it. It was an exciting time with all the Walmart stuff going on, and though that was a kind of a fiasco where they had supposed to have a Kiss corner, and then I go and I go to Walmart, where's your Kiss corner? We don't have a Kiss corner. Stuff was like spread out all over, throughout the store. You had to find the stuff you wanted. So, but yeah, I was excited to finally get new music. It's always great.
Where's your Kiss corner? Security! We got another one of them.
Yeah. I need an adult.
Yes.
Yeah,
so I mean, coming back to when it came out, there was a big merchandise drive with everything. There was a lot of hype. The only place you could get the album in the U.S. was at Walmart. They had signed an exclusive similar to AC/DC had with Black Ice, I think was theirs. So I was like, well, Walmart's banned from San Francisco. I was like bummed out. I was going to have to drive somewhere and find a Walmart and actually step foot in one. So I wanted to see these Kiss corners. Alex, you mentioned this earlier as well. You didn't get to see a Kiss corner either, did you?
No. Heck, I remember if I get there, but even like the day of release, I remember getting up that morning and heading over to Walmart with my buddy because I gotta get the new Kiss album. And I get to the store and I'm like, yo, like, where's the Kiss album at? And they're looking at me like, that's wrong with you, dude. What are you talking about? And they had to go in the back and and they come out the box and they're like, all right, how many do you want? And I'm like, 2. And they're looking at me like I'm weird because I want 2 and stuff. But yeah, they didn't have it. I mean, they had the merch. I bought a handful of the Sonic Boom T-shirts because I think they were like $5. They were super dirt cheap. And it was just like a black T-shirt with the album cover on it. And then of course Halloween, they had like the makeup kits and the M&Ms and stuff. So they had a lot of cool merch, but what was advertised of like, you'll be able to go into Walmart and find Kiss corners at every corner of the store with the album and with T-shirts and with all the other albums and stuff. And I think some people have pictures. They had like display stuff with like all the other remastered albums, but no, disappointment happened again. But
yeah. So the album came out, obviously, this was back when albums came out on Tuesday, like they always used to. So yeah. My buddies and I went to a bar and watched Monday Night Football. And we decided we'll watch the game, hang out, and then It's like it was like a bar at the end of Walmart's parking lot. Not really at the end of Walmart's parking lot, maybe like a block away from Walmart's parking lot. So we're sitting in there, we're watching Monday Night Football, drinking beer. It's about 11:30. Said, okay, we'll go up there and see what's going on. We go, well, we probably should walk up there at this point. So we walked up to Walmart about a block away and walked in there, and here come these four derelicts in there, like, go back to the CDs, like, where's Sonic Boom at? Where's the Kiss Corner? And they're like, who are these guys? What are you talking about? The new Kiss album, midnight. What are you like? So like 12:30 rolls around, and somebody finally has a box of them and brings them out and hands them out to us. I'm like, all right, get out of here. So,
and this is in St. Louis.
This is in St. Louis, yeah.
At night, after midnight. Yeah.
Smart decision. Smart decisions when you're 30 years old.
About some of those life choices we make, and walking around after midnight would not be one for me.
So we're checking out, and Joe Odell walks in. He goes, I was at the Walmart down the street. They didn't have them at all.
Oh, Jesus.
It was funny. It was a great night.
So I take it they hadn't set up their Kiss Corner at yours either.
No. Where are the M&Ms? Get out of here.
Security. No, I did see photos, and people did post them, for their Kiss Corners, and some of them are really cool. They did have the trading cards. Remember, I did have to order online from Walmart to get mine, and I bought some of the trading cards. I think I picked up a couple of remasters just because I needed replacements, and they were so cheap. So, I mean, it was kind of cool. But let's talk about your first impressions of the album. What are your overall general thoughts of Sonic Boom as a Kiss record? Lonnie, I had to go straight back to you on that.
I loved it. When first time I played it, I absolutely loved it. I mean, I was so excited. I mean, I bought copies. I mean, a copy for myself. I bought a copy for my girlfriend at the time. Bought a copy for my two brothers. And I'm like, I want this. I wanted that album to succeed so bad, and I was gonna do my part because I loved it. And I still like the album. I like it a whole lot more than Monster. And to me, 10 years later, it still stands up. I really, really like it when I listen to it and enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah, nice. Ken, how about you?
Yeah, my first impressions were, I remember bringing it home and, putting it on or in the CD player or my computer right away. And, I thought it was pretty darn good. I thought there was no real dud songs, and there was a couple of cool moments on there that were, I thought, oh, this is pretty good. But it was obvious that they were attempting to try to go back to that old style. In certain instances, you could hear it, or you could hear a certain riff or certain guitar solos that were oh, wait a minute, that's from the past. So some of it was almost mimicking what they were doing, but then some of the new stuff was not mimicking, and it was pretty darn good. So it was a good album, like Lonnie said. He thinks better than Monster. I think it's better than Monster too. It's more of that Kiss style. Though Monster has some good songs on it, it's just not. There's something missing on Monster about the Kiss. I don't know what it is. The feel of that album. I can't place it, but something different.
Yep, good points. Alex, your first impressions of Boom?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, that's like Lonnie. I still to this day. I do think it's better than Monster. I know we're not doing a Monster show. I think we could all probably agree, just production-wise, for Monster is what makes that one a difficult one to digest all the way. But I just loved it. I was like I mentioned, I was stoked, and just the hype. That knowing that there was going to be a song with Eric singing on, and then Tommy, all four members are going to be singing the song on it. There was kind of like this, like, oh, cool. Like, I mean, for me, I was like, I wonder what Tommy's going to sound like, because at that point we only had heard him sing, come on, shout it now, and shout it out loud, and there was some not great recordings of Shock Me Live, so I was excited to see what they could bring to the table, and to kind of see what was the writing style of Gene and Paul, 2009, because we had Gene's solo album in 2004 and Paul in 2006. I was excited to see what was Kiss 2009 going to sound like, and I thought it sounded great.
Yeah, I think you covered all the points that I would have wanted to make. I was very curious about what they were going to sound like with Tommy and Eric firmly entrenched in the band. I think what I enjoyed the most out of it was all the little elements that jumped out. Like, oh, that sounds like it could have been off Asylum, or that sounds like something off The Elder, or that sounds like Ace doing, Tommy's doing his full Ace imitation there. So those are kind of the little things that really stood out to me and still do. I mean, I was listening to this quite a bit this week, and it really just reminded me that I need to listen to this album more, because it's actually a really good part of the Kiss catalog, and I was really enjoying the vast majority of the songs. So let's talk about the songs. Obviously, we rip off Lipstick Panel's methodology, assign a point for each song, and add them all up, and whoever gets the most points kind of wins. So we'll get started with the worst song on the album, according to this panel today, because of course it could be different tomorrow. 11th place, I'm an Animal, on 8 points. It struggled until someone gave it more points than it deserves. But Ken, let's start with your thoughts on I'm an Animal.
Yeah, I don't think it was me who gave it more.
No, I'm not going to you, just suggesting that it was you.
Me, I'm
just starting with you.
Pardon the hell out of me.
No, well, I had 10, but anyway, yeah, I'm an Animal. I think I liked it more when I first heard it than I do today. I listened to the album the last couple of days, and it just kind of was. It's not. It doesn't fit, I guess you could say, on this album with the other music that's on here. It's different. It really stands out as a different type of song. It's not a horrible song, but it's not a great song. It just doesn't fit with the rest of the album and the way the other music stands out. I think it would fit better. It probably would have fit better on Monster than on Sonic Boom. Yeah. So yeah, it's okay. Not one of Gene's best. So it's just a okay song.
Alex.
Just too slow. I actually didn't fully mind it on the Hottest Show on Earth tour the next year, that 2010 tour. I actually didn't mind it, but I think that might have just been a little bit of the excitement because it was a new song and the set. Because I think at this time, at least because this is the first tour I saw Kiss on, was the Alive 35 tour and stuff. So I've even got like my cool tour book and everything because I was all stoked, and I've even got my original CD here. And I need to find me one of those jewel cases because I beat the crap out of this digipack. But I just thought the song was it was too slow, like especially in the middle. You go from Dangerous, it's kind of a little bit fast paced, to this slow song, and I just thought it was like the second I Love It Loud, just slow.
Turgid is the word I think of. But I'm also hoping that Paul slapped Gene for I'm an Animal, because it just is like the worst case of recycling, and he is just so guilty of over-recycling on this one. I mean, you can't recycle compost. It's already been recycled, but, there was stuff out of songs that he had given to Peter Criss for Let Me Rock You worked back into this. And again, it was just that it was so slow, and then they did it live. I mean, Gene songs that have been picked to be live, like Within, off the last few albums, are just really, really bad picks. So having to listen to that live, I was like, shit, I mean, it's just even worse. So, sorry, this deserves to be in last place. I really despise this song as much as the next one. But, Lonnie, your thoughts on I'm an Animal?
I liked it. When the album originally came out, I liked it, and I didn't have a problem with it at all. And when I heard that they were doing it live in Europe, in Sonic Boom over Europe tour, like, oh, that's cool. They're going to put a Gene song in there, because previously the only songs that they had done off the album were Modern Day Delilah and Say Yeah. So it's like, oh, that's cool. They're going to put a third song in there, and it's a Gene tune. And when I saw them play that song live on the Hottest Show on her Hottest Show on Earth tour, I was just like, man, this just plods along, and it just looking around, it's like I'm the only one around me that even knows the song. And with the two shows on that tour, like one with my girlfriend and one with my brother, and obviously my girlfriend, she didn't know it, but my brother's like looks at me and goes, "Why are they playing this?" I'm like, I can't tell you. So it was I liked it at first, but and like Ken said, it's not a bad song. I'm not going to sit here and badmouth because I just sat here a minute ago and sang the praises of the album. But it's not a bad song, but it's just not as good as the rest of them. And the way when they played it live, it just really ruined it for me.
I want to throw out too. I was disappointed. If anything, it wasn't made the Blood song. I think if they had made a Gene's Blood song, there could have.
Yeah, maybe it would have been different. Sure.
Yeah.
If you'd made the blood goopy and slow.
Wow.
Oh, it just has. Sorry, I don't like it. It's not very good. All right, let's move on from one bad song to the next. This one actually surprised me. On 14 points in 10th place, Russian Roulette. Gene, you're down at the bottom here. So, Lonnie, let's start with you on Russian Roulette.
I don't have a big problem with that song. I ranked it like mid 2/3 of the way down, I guess. But I'm surprised it's that far down on our combined list. It's okay. I think I really love the beginning of the song. You know, the dun, 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 dun. I think it's really cool the way it starts out. I'm really surprised that it's this low. I really don't have a problem with it. So I guess I'm in the minority here because I probably ranked it higher than most of you guys did.
Well, you're not. You ranked it the same as me and Ken. It was only Alex who ranked it lower.
Well, Alex broke the curve on this song. So it's okay. It's not bad, but it's okay. Maybe I wouldn't have put it as a second song on the album. Maybe I would have put a different Gene song as the second song on the album. And maybe the placement kind of ruins it for some people, but I think it's okay, Gene's song, and I think I would have rather heard it. I think I would have rather them play it live than I'm an Animal. I think it would have been more fun live. So I don't really have that big of a problem with it. I think it's pretty decent, really.
I think its placement on the album is a problem. It's on the album. Alex, you did like this the least of us, so.
I don't know. This album was tough for the Gene songs, but he outshines in the end, I think. But I just don't like the part to it and stuff. I don't know. I felt like that was such reminiscence of You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best off of Psycho Circus, and that was kind of like what killed that song for me. So I don't know. Maybe I was being unfair in judging and holding a grudge against the previous song, but I just that was kind of like what killed it for me on that song.
All right, before we go to the voice of reason, I'm going to get it out of my system. It's just the same old shitty, recycled, throw it in a blender lyrics. All right, some ladies love me, some ladies don't. Out of the frying pan into the fire, thrown to the flame, your hands are tied. Holy shit. My backbone did not slip. So, this is the first appearance of the backbone slippage on a Gene song. And, it's pretty dire. Again, sometimes when he takes all these lyrics that he's had sitting around for a long time, they actually work. They actually go together. But this one was just a complete fail for me. So, Ken, give us some reason on it. If you can.
Well,
here it is. It's okay song. I like Lonnie. I think the chorus is good. And the chorus isn't so much recycled. It has a good chorus. It's just the verses has a lot of the regurgitated lyrics from the past that Gene likes to use. But once it hits the chorus, it's a really has a good hook to it. So I like it. I think it's still pretty good. It's not one of Gene's. It's not a animalized Gene song. It's better than that. It's a pretty good song. I understand that he redoes some things all the time, but I think the chorus makes up for it.
Fair enough. Thank you. All right, moving on into ninth place on 16 points, Stand. Now, we have two factions on this panel going. We've got Ken and Lonnie who despise it, according to their rankings, and you've got Alex and I who find it kind of middle of the road. So, Alex, let's start with you.
It actually ranked lower on me. I think it would have been better if we didn't have that Paul Stanley. Gosh, I gotta pull out the lyric book because he said something like right in the first chorus, and I thought like
his call-outs.
His call-outs, the first one, the one that says, "I'll be next to you."
Can you feel it?
Well, see, I didn't mind
just
those.
look over your shoulder.
Yes,
but I felt the when they did the first part, "Stand by my side," and then he goes, "I'll be next to you," and I thought it was too early for him to do that and stuff. The call-outs are cool, like on the ending chorus of the song, but I thought it was too early, and it kind of ended it. But I ranked a little high because I like the idea of that Gene Paul back and forth, song, singing the song together and stuff, because they don't have too many of those. So when you kind of do one, it's kind of fun and exciting. And yeah, I feel like they were trying to go a little anthemic, and I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, that was like the only thing where I ranked a little lower. But
no, all right, Ken.
I didn't have it low. You said I had it low, right?
According to your list, you had it second from bottom.
No. Did you look at the numbers? Stand is number 4 on my list.
Oh, well, there you go.
So you just blew the whole calculation of everything.
Guess so.
Stand is number 4 for me, and I like it a lot. I think it's a pretty darn good song. I like the trade-off of Gene and Paul, and I also, I like that middle part where they break it down. They have a break, was it a bridge, and then they do the breakdown, where they're kind of doing that,
the harmony aspect,
harmonizing, going on, which they've done a couple times before, and I think it's good. I think it's their attempt to do some kind of like a Beach Boys type harmonizing or something. Of course, they're not the Beach Boys, but I like the song. I think it's a good song. It's a little bit different than their normal stuff, but I think it's a uplifting song. And though I do agree with Alex that ad-lib Paul's coming in early in the beginning of the song and saying, when you need me kind of thing, it just kind of felt on the wrong beat kind of thing to me, and probably should have waited till later in the song.
All right, fair enough. I'm recalculating as I'm like that freaking commercial. Recalibrate. All right, we'll fix these scores up. Lonnie, your thoughts on Stand?
I think Stand, I ranked it really low, and I think it's just a matter of trying too hard. Have you ever seen a girl who's just, I'm not trying to sound like an ass, but you ever just seen a girl who is just kind of, she's just kind of okay looking, and she's has herself all dialed up and has on short skirts and a whole lot of fucking makeup, and you're like, she's just trying too hard. That's what Stand is to me. It's just, you're just trying too hard to make Gene and Paul trade off lyrics. Stand by my side, I'll be next to you. Just look over your shoulder. I think it's just too much. I just think it's a matter of trying way too hard to make a song where Gene and Paul are in love with each other and, just take my hand, we'll be together no matter what. It's okay. I think it's just trying too hard, and it just ruins it for me. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I liked it when it first came out, but I listen to that song now and I skip it because it reminds me of You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. Another song of just trying too hard to make something because on You Wanted the Best, I Got the Best, we wanted a song with all 4 original members singing on one song, and this is just we wanted a song with Gene and Paul saying how much they like each other on one song. I think it's too much and overdone. It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Wow. Well,
sorry.
fair enough. I'm not a big fan of it. It's The call-outs, again, really bother me, Paul, just doing those kind of random things on top that just don't need to be done. I remember when I first heard it, the first line, where's the lyrics? Sometimes when the days get rough, and I was just thinking exposed, roughage. All right.
Pretty rough,
so,
yeah.
Again, it was one that in concept was better to have another Gene shared vocal, like I, but it just is not I. It's nowhere near as good. It's nowhere near as anthemic. It's overcalculated and thus did not work very well. All right, let's move on. Let's see, because I have to now do these new numbers.
I blame Ken.
Hey,
What do you mean?
I put numbers next to my.
I know, but he used the same. You used the same order as Lonnie.
Well, I cheated and pasted Lonnie's.
Yeah. Well,
homework, but just
So I do blame you. You
I put a
cheated off of my
number
work.
in front of it.
all right, so let's move on. In eighth place on 18 points, Danger Us. Which, Ken, this is your least favorite song on the album. Am I correct now?
You are correct.
Okay,
It is.
tell us why.
Again, like Lonnie said on the prior song, on Stand, I feel they're trying too hard, or Paul's trying too hard on Dangerous, trying to play off the dangerous word and saying danger us. So I think it was just too much. Just listening to the lyrics of that one, I just don't get it. It's okay tune, but this is just one of those songs I'll skip. Then maybe I'll skip it along with Animal. I'm an Animal. Those two songs are, at the bottom of my list because I think they're just not that good. Dangerous is trying too hard, like Lonnie said on Stand. So it's the same type of thing for me. I just don't care for it that much.
Fair enough. Lonnie, what about you?
I have it ranked last, actually. I have it below Stand, as much as I just went on a rant about Stand. So I am not a fan of this song for the exact same reasons I said earlier about Stand, and for the exact same reasons Ken just said about Dangerous. It's kind of embarrassing to play if you have someone in your car with you and you're driving around, danger you, danger me, danger us. Like, who wrote this? It's goofy as hell. I mean, a fifth grader could write that. So and that might be being mean to the fifth grader. So I think it's like Ken said, it's another case of just trying too hard to to be cool or try to incorporate a certain phrase into songs. And it goes back to Julian's point about Russian Roulette too, because Russian Roulette is just Gene throwing all of his catchphrases out there and into the verses of the songs. But Dangerous to me is the epitome of I just skip it every time. So it just doesn't work for me at all.
All right. Alex, I'm just about done recalculating here, so which song are you supposed to be talking about?
The Garmin.
Dangerous. This song works for me. I like it. It's high up on my list. I really like the intro, and I think compared to a couple of the other Paul songs on the album, I just thought it was a better song of some of the other ones. And I think it's just kind of goofy. I mean, the kind of the playing with the whole danger you, danger me, danger us. I think there's just some fun with that. So I like it. So the intro, which just the sound of it's really cool. I don't know if I gave it had a creature sound a little bit to it or whatnot, or like an 80s Kiss sound to it that I kind of enjoy a lot.
All right, well, let's move on. And now that I've recalculated, I'm just going to give a recap of the adjusted scores and the correct ones now that I've got Ken's opinion correctly figured in. So, still in last place, I'm an Animal on 7 points. So it actually went down one as a result.
Down.
In 10th place, Russian Roulette on 15 points. Tied in 9th and 8th place on 18 points is Dangerous and Never Enough, which we'll talk about next. And then I think I had Stand actually went up in the standings as a result of my error. My error. All right, so Never Enough. Let's talk about that one. Alex.
I didn't mind it when it first came out. And I think it's probably peer pressure or whatnot came after. And then me discovering more about Poison and realizing that, wow, they they must have been listening to Poison. They wrote Never Enough. And I guess they couldn't get enough of it. So they wrote a song about it. It's the sound. I just kind of like low on my list. It's not terrible, but I know I struggle sometimes when a song sounds too much like another song, because then it's like, okay, you got lazy.
Or inspired.
Or you're dreaming.
But when a Kiss song sounds like a Poison song, the sharp has been jumped. Lonnie.
I actually had it ranked fairly high, I think, compared to the rest of you guys. I know that it sounds like Poison, but I enjoyed the song. I think it's very Kiss-esque. I think it has a very Kiss sound, like classic Kiss sound to it, of like an anthem, like rally cry type song to it. I enjoy it. I think it's I enjoy Paul's lyrics on it and the guitar solo on it, and yeah, I know it sounds like Poison, but I think it's a fun song, and I know I'm in the minority, but I like it. I really do.
It was one of the singles off the album, wasn't it?
It actually was the third single off the album.
The final single. So, they would have heard the criticisms, of it sounds too much like Poison, but Paul obviously, I like it. I wrote it. So it's going to be the third single. Ken, your thoughts on Never Enough?
Yeah, it's for the same reasons. Mine is around, it's 6. I ranked it 6, so it's the middle of the road for me. It's a good song. I like it. I think it says, besides the familiar part where it sounds like Poison, it's like, oh, yeah, I've heard that before somewhere. And then you realize it was a Poison song. It's like, oh, okay. But it's still, having said that, the chorus is good, and like Lonnie said too, it has that old Kiss feel, and it's almost a lot of this where they were trying to go for 70s. It sounds more 80s to me. A lot of this music on here, and that's one of them.
I mean, Poison did come out in the 80s, so.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, and go figure. I mean, I don't like Poison. I like Kiss. What really, a lot of Kiss fans I know really dig Poison as well. So it's just one of those songs. I didn't like the connection with that Poison song from the first time I heard it, and I've just kind of blanked it ever since. All right, let's move on. We've already done Stand, haven't we? That's now up to 22 points, tied with Mr. Thomas Thayer, When Lightning Strikes on 22 points. Alex, tell us what you like about Tommy's.
Oh, I was excited. In fact, I was super bummed. I mean, when I saw, I was like a mission. I think the show I saw Kiss was like 5 days after the album came out. No, it was a week. It was a week after. I remember it was a week, and because it's Tuesday. And so I knew like they were only doing one song, but I was kind of like bummed later on the tour when they brought in like Dr. Love, and then they brought Shock Me, and I think my whole mind was like, oh, come on, play When Lightning Strikes. I thought it was a great song. I thought it was fun. I know you obviously had like the space song on Monster, but to kind of do the whole lightning thing, and if you guys haven't seen like Tommy's whole cool costume had the lightning bolts going on and stuff with it, so
That's
I was really hoping. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know the hell thing, but I was just hoping that there was going to be some, that they would do more of this album live, and I thought it was a fun song. It's got some good cowbell to it. So I was, like I said, I was thinking it was more disappointed it's never been done live.
All right, Lonnie, what are your thoughts on it? It's kind of middle of the road for you, isn't it? On this,
it's kind of middle of the road for me. I like it. I like the idea of the 4 Kiss members each taking a turn on lead on the album, you know, similar to Love Gun and Dynasty, I guess, too. But I enjoyed the song. I like it better than Out of This World. And I think it's a fun song, and it's great to hear Tommy on lead. You know, they did try Out of This World. They did play Out of This World live for a while. I wish they would have given this one a chance, because I think it deserves a chance, because I like it better than Out of This World. So, you know, it's great to see Tommy shine and not just always be in Gene and Paul's shadow. And he wrote a great song, and it still stands up today, 10 years later. I still enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to hearing both Tommy and Eric get their own, you know, vocal spots on a Kiss album. I mean, that was really going to be one of the high selling points for me. My problems with this was the lightning theme, again, going with Ace's lightning bolts. But I did give the song bonus points for ripping off AC/DC's TNT in the rhythm section under the guitar solo. And that's such a great bit of guitar thievery. It's actually not that bad a song. I prefer Out of This World, as far as, you know, Tommy's efforts are on the 2 albums. But, you know, as far as it goes, it's okay. It's kind of middle of the road for me on this album as well. Would I want to hear it live? Only if I had 2 options of Shock Me or this song. I would take this song. And it really is as easy as that. I'd much rather Tommy sing his own song. And also because it gives a little bit more respect to the albums that he participated on. So, Ken, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think the song's pretty good. You know, I think if there's a competition or something, is who can write the most lightning and shock songs and space songs between the 2. You know, it's like I don't know if he feels he has to write those type of songs, or if
he's told he has to write those kinds of songs.
Or told yeah, exactly. You know, maybe he's doing it on his own, just to stay in character type of thing. But it's a pretty good song. I do like Julian, Out of This World. I think it's a better song, but this song is still pretty good. And it was finally good to, you know, hear him and Eric getting their, you know, due on the album finally.
Yep. Cool. So, I mean, all generally a pretty positive response. Alex, did I get you on this? Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm losing. I am not with it today. I do apologize. All right. So let's move on to 5th place before I screw up even more. On 24 points, All for the Glory. I love this song, actually. This is the song I would most like them to do live because, number one, it's an Eric vocal, and I love Eric's voice. And, you know, as much as I understand why they did Beth on this tour, the way they've done it, I wish he was doing this song. Again, for the same reasons that I'd prefer Tommy to be doing When Lightning Strikes. It's their own songs. It's their own vocal performance from an album. But this one is also one of the best tracks on the album lyrically for me. I think it's an impeccably crafted rock song that just really encompasses kind of like From the Road. So regardless of how it came about and you know, Paul's kind of point of view, it's perfect for Eric, the journeyman, and I dig. Let's start with Alex on this.
I love it too.
You love it loud?
Oh no, I like it a lot better than I love it loud. I just love it. Gosh, you know, I don't know. Maybe I just, you know, I was, you know, kind of fresh out of high school when the album came out and stuff, and so yeah, it just kind of it's like a good motivating, you know, get your blood pumping song. And I fully agree. I'd love to have seen this song live. Again, like I mentioned, I was really disappointed with kind of the lack of songs being performed on the tour, because this one would have been a great song to have, and especially to have like the audience, you know, do a chorus and kind of like what they did like with Crazy Nights or Rock and Roll at Night. This would have been a cool song to do the audience participation with.
Yeah, well, at least they didn't make Eric wait too long. for his vocal debut. Only 20. Yeah, whatever. Lonnie, your thoughts on it?
I like the song too. I think it. Paul wrote it, and Eric does a great job of capturing the vibe of it and bringing it home. I think it's a great song, and I would have liked to hear it live as well. But again, I don't know how well it would have gone over live, especially with the casual fans. Like, well, why is the drummer singing a song that I don't know? Because like when I'm serious, like, because when I went to the show on the end of the road tour in St. Louis, and they come out and it's Detroit Rock City and it's Shouted Out Loud and it's Deuce, and the crowd's like bam, 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 they love it, and they go, when they say yeah, I mean, you could see the crowd just die. You really, really could. And I like the song Say Yeah, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, I'm sure. But you could see the crowd just die when they went in to Say Yeah. And it's like, no one knows this. No one knows this song. And it's one of, if not the best songs on the album that we're talking about. But I think if you would have put All for the Glory in there live, not only is it on an album that a lot of people didn't purchase, but then it's the drummer singing the song that, well, I'm not even sure who the drummer is, even though he's been in the band for 20-something years. I think it just would have killed the audience even more, even though how much I love the song. And I'm not trying to say you guys are wrong that it shouldn't be played live. I think it'd be cool. For maybe on the cruise, it'd be cool to hear it live. That'd be the setting to play it in, actually. But I enjoy the hell out of the song, and I think it's great, and Eric did an excellent job on it. But I don't think it would work live for the masses.
Ken?
Yeah, this is a real good song. I remember at the time when Sonic Boom came out, they had an ad on the TV for college football.
Yeah.
And they were playing that song in the background. I was like, whoop.
Yeah. I remember being at a bar on a Saturday night, they're playing
what?
that in the background.
Wait a minute, that's Kiss. They're playing a song. I said, All for the Glory for advertisement for the NCAA football. And I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. And so it should have been a single, in my opinion. I think it's even though I ranked it not the highest or anything, I still think it's a real good song, and it could have been a single, I think.
Yeah, no one had this song ranked down in the hate zone. I mean, it's one that varies wildly from me in fourth place, I think, down to you and you liked it at least in seventh, eighth. Pardon me. So again, I'm just glad that Eric got a good song to sing, not one that was about cats or coming home. Or,
Nine Lives.
Yeah.
Or Beth.
Just too much ripping off Peter's essence. So in that case, he kind of wins for me on the replacements on this album. Tommy went too close to Ace's aura, and Eric didn't. So let's move on. Fourth place on 26 points. Hot and Cold. Yeah, I have this very low on mine, and just seeing if I actually wrote any notes. Yeah, another case of too much recycling for me. But I really like the bass line Gene does on the song. So there's positive and a negative. Ken, I'm going to go straight back to you on it.
Yeah, I like the song a lot. When I listened to it again, I didn't think I liked it that much until I listened to it the last couple of days. I thought it's a real good song, and I found myself with the song stuck in my mind afterwards, after listening to it. It's just one of those songs that are catchy, and it's I can't say what the real deal is with it, but he recycled some stuff again, a little bit here and there, Gene, but it's another good catchy chorus that he came up with. And that's probably the most important part of the song. So I think it's real good. I ranked it high on my list.
Yeah, I mean, while I'm not a fan of it, I believe he did this one live with his solo band. So
and he did on the Kiss Cruise.
Yeah.
Kiss Cruise 2 years ago.
Yeah, the one before the one I went on where they didn't do anything rare. They did hot and cold. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Appreciate it. Lonnie, hot or cold? Hot and cold.
I like it. It's catchy. And if you're a listener of the show, you know that I love catchy songs, and it's very catchy. It's something that stays in your head all day when you listen to it. It is very recycled, as Julian mentioned, but I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's one of the better Gene songs on the album. As much as we bash some of the Gene songs earlier on the album, this one I think really shines in comparison to the others. So I don't have anything bad to say about it. I really enjoy it.
Alex?
It's middle of the road for me. I don't know. I got a T-shirt at the Kiss concert I went to, and it said if it's, and it had the song lyrics on the back, and I think that's probably the best spot those lyrics could have probably been was on the back of a T-shirt.
All right.
What are you saying there, Alex?
Moving on. In third place on 34 points, so that's a substantial jump up, which means everyone is now trending and agreeing some more.
Yeah. The last three songs.
Well, surprisingly, I'm the only one who has this as his number one pick on this album, and it's Say Yeah, which is basically built off a 70s rap Paul did. It's an anthem. It is a Kiss classic, which is why I understand why it's in the set from this album on the end of the road versus anything else off these last two albums that they've recorded. I think it's a great anthem. I think it's just a shame that they were tied into a Walmart-only release and never handled it particularly well by doing background graphics showing that it came off an album called Sonic Boom, which I don't think is even available on iTunes anymore, is it, in the States?
I don't think so.
It's certainly tough to find. It's not been reissued. It was never issued in Japan at all, which is really weird. And I think it's probably a great representation that Paul Stanley was still able to write a great, catchy song. And yeah, it's a little bit contrived in that it's got a deliberate audience participation section, but it's one that I'm thrilled to have seen again on this tour. I'm thrilled to have seen back in 2009 during the tour. And, I think it stands up well. Listening back this week to this album again, I'm like, there's a lot of really good material on this. And this really was the top of it for me, that I think has aged the best. Lonnie, let's go to you.
I really enjoyed the song. I saw them in Chicago in 2009, and they only played Modern Day Delilah. And then I saw them again later in the tour in Kansas City in 2009, and they played this as well. And I was really, really excited to hear it live because it does stand out as a great Paul anthem type song, what you expect to hear from Paul Stanley on a Kiss album. And I really like the placement of it on the album. Is that the last song on the album is one of, and arguably the best song on the album. The way Kiss had done it with a lot of albums earlier in their career. Look at the way they ended Creatures of the Night with War Machine. Look at the way they ended the original album with Black Diamond. Dress to Kill, Rock and Roll All Night. So I really like the way it was, the placement of the song, and I really like the song itself, where it gets the crowd involved. As much as I just said, the crowd just died when they played Say Yeah, but they do their best to get the crowd involved and make it an audience participation type song, which kind of gets the audience back into it. So, but the song itself, just as it stands, I think is absolutely incredible, and I really, really enjoyed it when it came out. Still do to this day, and it's one of Paul. Julian's right. It's one of Paul's masterpieces. It really is.
Yeah, it's just that they don't continue to push their album sales effectively, because you're absolutely right that it is a dead spot. Even to this day, you feel a palpable change in the atmosphere of the show when it comes on, which is really sad because it's so energetic and it hits It hits all kind of the points that you expect a Kiss song to hit, which is, very disappointing. And yet you still never see a graphic come up in the background that says you can buy this album at Walmart. There's still nothing that actually kind of sells the catalog. Neither do they introduce it effectively. And I don't think people are probably listening at a concert anyway about don't want a Kiss show to become like QVC when it's already like one. Alex, you hate this song.
I don't really hate it. It does rank a little lower. I think just as a closing song, it wasn't one of my favorites. As a live song, though, I had fun in 2010 with it. And I was actually, when I did see it in the set list, and I know how much you like it, Julian, I kind of got excited from your excitement that it was back in the set list again. For one, because it was off the album that came out, like it was my new album. You know what I mean? So I was excited that, cool, they are doing a song off Sonic Boom. It had been, they hadn't done a Sonic Boom song for a while, and then they kept like Hella Hallelujah in the set list for a little bit, but then there was kind of a gap. But I agree with you. I remember when the album came out, there was kind of a push, and I think it came in, was it number 2 in sales and stuff? It got beat by that Michael Bublé fellow for the spot. But I just there's one thing I've never understood with the Kiss show. And again, we've done many episodes and whatnot on Kiss misses and stuff. Is and I know because I picked up another backup copy on the Digipack seal for like $5 at Walmart. I don't know why Kiss can't say to Walmart like, hey, please ship us back, whatever you guys have left, and so we could take it on the road and have it at the merch stand. Because it's the end of the road. I'd be trying to sell as much stuff as I can, and if they had a stack of these, and they could put $10 on it, because how many of us, we do know there's some Kiss fans that don't have a lot of cash. If they don't have the album, hey, $10 for a Kiss album, especially because it's a 3-disc pack for this Walmart version. I really wish they would have it on sale at the tour. Sorry, that was a rant.
That was a hot take.
Ring the bell.
Yeah. No, I mean, for those fans who can afford a $75 T-shirt, here's a token $5 CD. I mean,
please take these off our hands.
Yeah, please. We're doing you a favor by selling it to you for $5. God. All right, Ken, your thoughts.
Well, I like Alex's idea. Actually, I think if they got the CDs back from Walmart and then unwrapped them and maybe put some kind of sticker in there, and then call it also, you get a sticker, but it's like an end of the road sticker, limited edition or whatever, sticker, and wrap it back up and sell that for $5, whatever. I think it would sell. Get those collectors who just like to get anything that's, unique to that tour or whatever. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, but I mean, hear me out. It does have, at least the American version, it came with that bonus disc of, the 15 re-record. Give or take your thoughts on those. And, sometimes you got people that go to a concert that they might not have that Kiss CD, and that'd be like a great, like, oh, hey, that was a great show. And they could walk away with Sonic Boom and Kiss makes another sale.
Yeah, it's worth a try. So yeah, I mean, this is a great anthem. It is an anthem. It's a great audience participation, song as part of the concert. So it works well, and I've always liked it. I think they probably played it when I saw them in 2009 in Oakland. Yeah. So I kind of remember that. So it's a great song from that album. It's just you can't miss.
No, nice. Good thoughts. Good thoughts indeed. All right, in second place, on 38 points, yes, I know, nobody's perfect. Yes, indeed. What are my notes on this one? I don't even have any notes. I always liked the Nobody's Perfect demo from the 80s that Gene did. So I was kind of happy at least at that part and, got recycled. And for me, this was really a great case of recycling. I think the song's really good. The vocal on it's fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Again, this would be another one that would have been great live from Gene's output. I mean, just about you can pick any Gene song off this album other than I'm an Animal, and it would probably be good live.
Yeah.
Because they're all have more tempo. and I think they all have better vocals as well. His lower kind of register when he's doing I'm an Animal doesn't work, but energetic. It's dated very well as well. I was surprised how high I had this up on my list. In third, I think. But it's a really, really fun song, and I enjoy it. So I don't really have much to say apart from that. So Alex, let's go back to you on Yes, I Know Nobody's Perfect.
I think this song is very perfect. I love it. This is my number one song off Sonic Boom. I know we started with, a Gene song at the end for my list, but to end on a high note, this is my number one. This is the one I was most disappointed that was never performed live at all by the band. I just, I know it's difficult for a band to sit there and say we're going to try to capture the sound of a previous album or a previous tour. But man, I thought they did really good. If there was a song where Kiss kind of captured that 70s sound, it was this song right here. And it's just fun, and it's that classic Gene. I mean, when you look at Psycho Circus, you really don't have that 70s Gene where it was kind of about, women and having a good time with women. His kind of got more deeper with him, and Journey of 1,000 Years. And this song was like bringing Gene back, that 70s Gene, the sequel to Ladies' Room. And I just really loved it. Still do.
Yeah, come on, it's pretty cheesy. Gonna strike while the iron's hot tonight. Here comes
It's
your
Kiss.
knight in
It's
shining
supposed to be
armor
cheesy.
again. Flip a coin, it's heads or tails. Come on.
It's better.
Put your
better
hand
than-
in my pocket, grab onto my rocket isn't cheesy?
Yeah.
Isn't it perfect Kiss lyrics?
Perfect. It's Kiss.
All right, Lonnie, take it away.
I love it. It's my favorite song on the album. It wasn't even close. I mean, I like Modern Day Delilah, I like Say Yeah, but Yes, I Know is without a doubt my favorite song on the album because it sounds the most like it could just be on Love Gun or be on Rock and Roll Over. It sounds like a 70s Kiss song. It's 70s Gene with his shtick, and the lyrics are 70s Gene shtick, and the sound is 70s Kiss. It sounds like a classic Kiss song, and it's cheesy as hell. And if you don't like cheesy lyrics, you don't like Kiss, because that's what it is. So, and I was so disappointed they never played it live. I thought it could sound great live, but then again, they've never played Ladies' Room live since '96 either, and that's a travesty in and of itself. So, I think it's fantastic, and it should have been a single. It should have been a lot more. Would have it sparked more album sales? No, probably not. But it would have worked a hell of a lot better live than I'm an Animal. And whoever made that decision, I'd really like to know, because I think it's a terrible one. So, Yes, I Know is absolutely my favorite song of Sonic Boom. Always has, always will be. For those reasons.
Ken.
Yeah. Well, it's a great song. And despite all the, innuendos, it's still good. And it's a good type of cheesy lyric song, and it's a very catchy tune. So yeah, I ranked it around middle of my list, or what was it, 5, which is not low. It's still good. I have nothing bad to say about it. Good song.
Excellent. Alex, I got you on this one, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Well, then it's pretty obvious what's number one on this panel's pick, and it's hardly surprising since it was the single, it was the video, it was the first song added into the set list. I've always considered Modern Day Delilah to kind of be something like a rewrite of See You in Your Dreams by Paul, saying I'm going to take that kind of subject matter that Gene covered in that and turned it into my own song. But again, it was a great anthem. Once you get around the kind of awkward Delilah, well, what the hell? Tom Jones? Or Freddie Mercury? It's a song on Innuendo about his cat. And then you kind of get where he's going with it. And it passed the test immediately. The first time I heard it, I reached for a guitar because of that riff. Had a really, really catchy riff. Probably one of the catchiest riffs on the album for me and my taste. So, great song, great live. And it's understandable why it kind of wins this panel's ranking, because, again, Paul was very reticent about writing stuff because they're not classics, or performing stuff, because it's not. But you got to give it time. And again, like Say Yeah, I think this one has become a Kiss classic, and it can stand proudly next to a lot of other really good songs. Not Read My Body, but, you know, in terms of their greatest hits, it certainly deserves to be mentioned as one of the very best of Kiss. Lonnie, Modern Day Delilah.
Love it. Great song. Worked great live in 09, worked great live when they opened with it in 10. I thought it was a great opener as well. And, you know, they've only opened with a handful of songs really in their whole 40-plus year history. But it
was
worked
2010
well.
when they had the spider and they'd be doing the opening riff.
It
and
was like up and over the drum set like that. It came from like a drum set.
But it used to go on very long sometimes if it was a little slow coming down.
Yeah, depending on the
just keep playing that riff, and you start
just keep playing that opening riff over and over and over again until you get to the microphone. But it worked well. It worked well as an opener, and that's saying something, like I said, because they've you know, I mean, we're back to opening with Detroit Rock City, which has been the opener. It's been a staple as an opener for a long time. You know, it's that or Deuce most of the time. So it worked well as an opener. It worked well in the middle of the set when they played it in 09. I enjoyed it. The riff, like Julian said, is great. It makes you want to pick up a guitar and start playing it. And it's a riff that will stick in your head too all day. It's catchy. Paul sounds as good as Paul could possibly sound in 2009 on that song. It just sounds like classic Kiss. As much as I just said I love Yes I Know, you're gonna use a Paul song to be the lead single off an album. It was a perfect choice to be the lead single on the album. So it's great, and it hooked a lot of people back into Kiss, really, because I mean, we talked about the tour a little bit ago, and when they said they were going to do an arena tour, I was like, really? They haven't toured the U.S. in 5 years, maybe for a reason. And, you know, they sold really well on that tour, and it was the opening song of the album promoting the tour, and it did really well. It's something they should be proud of.
Alex.
I love it. I mean, I know I think this one is my number 2, but I mean, I really love this song. I was excited when that little teaser clip came out on Kiss Online. Was it August of 2009? And I really loved the live version that was on David Letterman. I think it was like the night the album came out and stuff, and and it was such a cool version. And I don't know about you guys, but like I love like watching live video clips of it, because I think Gene's like super goofy and live, you know, with his animations and stuff there in the song, and yeah, she likes it too. But yeah, like you guys said, it's just catchy. The riff's catchy. The lyrics are fun, and it was you know, as a lead song, it was like I almost get like a feeling almost like when Revenge came out and people loved Unholy, and it was like, man, that's my band. And then hearing Modern Day Delilah, it was the same thing for me.
Don't throw stuff at your kid. What are you doing?
Unless it's a pacifier.
She's in a cool little play thingy, but she's good. We finally got a big playpen for her. So.
Oh, freedom.
Yeah.
All right, Ken, you voted this your number 1 song off the album. If I got your list right this time.
I think you got it right.
Okay, that's really.
Right, so number 1, it's a great song. I was very happy to hear it when it first came out, and that's the first single. It makes total sense. It's a great riff, just a great riff in the song. That's the the backbone of that song is that riff. And I like where, you know, Paul kind of goes into his, you know, scream at the end of, you know, right before or end of chorus or whatever. It's cool. I mean, that's the time, you know, his voice was starting to, you know, go a little bit. But he still pulled it off, you know, it still worked. So I saw it on all those, you know, late night shows when they played it live, and I think one of them was where they had so much smoke it set off their alarms there or something like that because they put too much of their smoke on the stage. But anyway, it's just a great song. And like Julian, you said, it's a classic. It's become a classic, and no doubt that it will remain a classic, going forward.
Yeah, so I don't think we have a tremendously surprising end to this panel. Again, as Kiss fans, and we've done these shows for so many years that we're kind of know where each other's spots are for stuff that we like and don't like. So it's no shock that I'm an Animal's last and Modern Day Delilah's first. But, it's a good album. I want to play, this is off one of the multi-tracks of Modern Day Delilah, and it just sums up what I like about this album in general, is that it's got a little bit of everything. This is Tommy solo, isolated, and all you are going to hear, and I'll cut in a good quality version of it for everyone listening, it's just all of the tricks of the trade, all the acisms thrown into one solo, and that comes across throughout the album. So I'll just shut up and play this. It's just 45 seconds. Dig that. So yeah, and also off those multi-tracks, being able to listen to Paul's vocals on their own and hear some of the little tricks that you can hear going on in the background. I mean, he still sounds great. It's not obviously every time I look at you level, but it's still a really good performance. And that's, looking back at this album, is what I enjoyed. It's like 10 years ago, my kind of wish came true that Psycho Circus was not the last album. And what we've got is a really strong album overall. Only a couple of duds on it, which for a band at that age I thought was really good. I think they did better than I expected. I'm certainly have enjoyed re-listening the album kind of in depth this week. So give us your final thoughts and then we'll wrap this up. Lonnie, Sonic Boom.
I can't believe it's been 10 years since this album came out. I really, truly can't, because I remember it so vividly. And like I said earlier, I still enjoy the hell out of it to this day. To me, it really stands up with a lot of the classic Kiss albums. I remember when they toured for that album, they said, Paul said, we got a new album out. It's another classic Kiss album, and you can kind of roll your eyes at that, and that's just shtick to make you go out and buy a new album. But it really is a classic album, and it really does stand up to this day. I really still enjoy listening to it every time I do.
Oh, I was frozen and Alex disappeared. Oh, he's back. So Ken, your final thoughts. And we're not going to talk about the artwork and all that today because, we've covered that in other episodes when we've talked about the packaging of albums and whatnot. So just your final thoughts on Sonic Boom, Ken.
Yeah, if you're a Kiss fan, I think you definitely have to have this in your collection. As far as the music, it fits in with a lot of their, earlier stylings, and the songs are, for the most part, most of the album is, very catchy and well-written songs and great, the performances are all great, top-notch, performances. So I think it's a definite, if you still go to Walmart and find one, and you don't have it, go buy it.
Yep. Alex, before she finds out what the red button does, what are your final thoughts on Sonic Boom?
I love it.
Daddy, bye.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great. I mean, I think my favorite quote from Paul Stanley when he talked about the album, and I think for anybody else is, go out and get it. If you don't have it, go get it. Especially now, $5, three discs. If you're in the U.S. at Walmart.
Yeah. It was, get your butts out to Walmart.
Right after visiting the bar.
Yep. And, of course, remember, 2 copies being given away here of the Euro. Only 1 CD, obviously, because Europe are cheap. You know, Ken's least favorite and my least favorite song. Throw it in an email me at, KissFAQ@outlook.com, and I'll throw you in a drawing for a free copy. All right, let's leave that there. Long enough show. A new episode of Podcast dropped today, and we start talking about Wicked Lester. So do go and check out our friends there, as that was a fun one to participate in, even though I didn't do enough homework. So there we go. All right, that's it for us for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye. I wish you'd just puke on the camera right there. Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we've broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.